My today's topic will be that how you can define or shape a career path in challenging times. I just need to ask. I just have to go and deliver my ideas, or we can make it interactive, or we keep the questions at the end. How do you want me to proceed?
Talk, and then we can request participant to ask questions.
Sure. Okay, that is fine. That is fine. Or if you want, and maybe if we cannot conclude today, maybe we can have one more session in next few days, a follow-up session. Because what I want to tell the UN volunteers today, a very different perspective of the career planning or career development. Because most of the time we talk about conventional ways and conventional means, but I will try to stir their thoughts so that they could be thinking differently, because our time has totally changed. As you know that whenever there is a crisis or there is an unusual, unpredictable situation, that brings so many things with it. For example, this is an opportunity, if we see it positively, whereby we can shape our vision, we can shape our ideas, we can shape the way we want to lead the life in that post-crisis time. And then it brings some, bad news also, because it is going to disturb life of the people, brings with it so much of destruction, harmful effects to the lives of the people, to the businesses, to the job. Before I start talking about the ideas, I would like to ask few questions to the UN volunteers and to myself also, that when we are talking about the career, we are talking about a future for ourselves. Who is the real architect of our career? Who is the real architect of our future? Who is the real time mentor, advisor, and the guide who will remain with us in any situation? Who are the people who dream about us, about our career, about our life, before we even start thinking, before we even start getting the ability to think, the ability to talk? And I am really honored, and I am humbled to say that it is none other than our parents, my mother and my father. They were the first one who thought about my life, my career, my future when I was born. And same goes true for everybody listening to me in this room or anywhere around the country, or outside the country, outside Pakistan. Because parents, they are the real architect of your career. So before we talk about I mean, what happens in real time, that when we are talking about the career, we are talking about the life, we are talking about moving ahead in our businesses, in our journey, in our life, in our career journey. So parents, they remain at the back end. Very rarely, maybe, in the hindsight, maybe in our drawing rooms, we recognize them, we appreciate them. But I have taken thousands of interviews, and I did not see anybody asking a question or sharing something about the real architects of your life, your career. So let's appreciate and recognize our parents first before we move on. And I would like to dedicate this session to those parents who are the architect of our life, who are the architect of our careers, our lives. Whatever we are today, this is by virtue of their hard work, their commitment, their efforts, their sacrifices. And this is the legacy that we have got from our parents. And this is the legacy we will pass on to our children also. So coming back to the topic, why I picked up a career path in a challenging time, because we have recently witnessed a great crisis, a crisis of an unimaginable magnitude, because no one even predicted that there will be a kind of pandemic which will totally cripple the world, which will totally cripple our lives. And it will look like that it's a day of judgment where we are in, and anything can happen in it, because the world was totally crippled. People couldn't travel for months and months. And it has taken a greater toll on the lives of the people, on the businesses of the people, on the careers of the people. It has totally changed the world. It has totally reshaped the lives of the people. I being in Malaysia, I had businesses. We had to shut down our businesses due to this prolonged pandemic. We had to suffer so much of losses, financial. We had to suffer otherwise also. We were at a point that It was not possible for me and my family to continue with the education of our children. But Alhamdulillah, Allah was very kind and we were able to do it. So there were so many lessons in this pandemic that we had to learn. First and foremost is that we prepare ourselves for the unusual, for the unpredictable. What happens that we are going to look at our past, we then think what we are doing today, and on the basis of that, we try to shape something, our vision, our values, our career, our planning about the life. We never take into account, very rarely we take into account that something unusual can happen. We have to prepare for that. How differently we can think. What we think that we get out of our comfort zone and we try to do something which is going to be helpful to us in a time which is not seen before, like this pandemic. This pandemic has taught so many lessons to the world. We are still suffering. You can see the after effects. There is a recession going on. All the developed countries, developing countries, country like Pakistan, we are suffering. People are suffering. They are seeing the after effects of this pandemic.